everyone, Toree here. I am in our facility in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and today I want to share with you one of my favorite classic cocktail recipes, the Corpse Reviver No. 2. While doing so, I want to share some design tips and design 101s with you that will help you lay out your bar for success and a little more functionally. So let's go ahead and start making our cocktail. First things first, as you can see back here, we have the Tobin Ellis signature line by Perlick. We are lucky enough to have that in our facility here. And you'll notice that this cocktail station just wraps around me. This really is going to help with the speed and ease of making cocktails during a shift. You'll also notice that front and center is going to be my ice bin. This is going to be where the bartender is going to keep coming back and keep being stationed during each cocktail that they make. I'll share some additional resources with you all that I use in order to figure out how many cocktail stations I need to put behind the bar, as well as what size ice bins to put behind the bar to help alleviate refilling multiple times throughout a shift. So let's go ahead and start our cocktail. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and grab my glassware. You'll notice that I have it on the left-hand side of me here, and that is because we want to leave our right hand open for the bartenders so that they have their strong hand open and available to grab a heavier object. So when you're doing a bar layout, we want to make sure that we're designing this bar for a right-handed bartender. So if you have the space, go ahead and put any drain boards or storage cabinets on the left-hand side of the bartender. Next thing, I'm going to grab my shaking tin here and go ahead and start making this cocktail. Every time I make a cocktail, I like to use a local ingredient, and we are going to start off with Tattersall's barrel-aged gin. This is just going to add another layer of complexity to the cocktail. So it's going to be 3/4 ounce gin here. I'm going to set that back in here. You'll notice that I grabbed this bottle with my right hand. Like I said, strong hand is going to grab the heaviest object. So make sure that you have the liquor for the bartender either on the right-hand side of them or in front of them, so they don't have to keep crossing over to grab an item. Move on to our next ingredient, but you'll notice another great feature from the Tobin Ellis line is going to be the speed rinser. This is going to allow me to clean my jigger so I'm not cross-contaminating ingredients, and it leaves my jigger clean so I can fill up the true amount of whatever ingredient that I'm putting in here. And the next ingredient is going to be triple sec or orange liqueur. Also going to be about 3/4 ounce. Pour that right into our shaker tin. Go ahead and rinse that jigger off again. Another feature that you want to put into your bar design is going to be an insulated well or an area that a bartender can keep cooled or chilled items, i.e. syrups, juices, or a spirit that needs to be chilled at a lower temperature than room temperature. So, that being our Lillet Rosé is going to be our next ingredient. Traditionally, you would put Lillet fortified wine in, but it's summer, and when I think of summer, I think of rosé, so I thought we'd switch things up a little bit. So we're going to put 3/4 ounce of that Lillet Rosé into our shaker tin here. Again, rinsing off this jigger, going to set me up to put my next ingredient, the exact amount that I need. It's going to help with consistency for each and every cocktail that goes out. Next ingredient is going to be lemon juice. Again, you'll notice that I pulled this from our insulated well, keeps it cold and fresh. So 3/4 ounce of that as well. And not to repeat myself too often, but we are going to rinse that jigger off again. Go ahead and fill this mixing glass with some ice here. You'll notice that the Tobin Ellis line does have ice bin dividers, which really brings the cocktail and ice program to the bar. So we're going to go ahead and shake this bad boy up. And we're shaking this versus stirring because there's lemon juice in there, and that's going to act as an emulsifier. And we want to make sure that we get a nice texture from this cocktail. Before we pour that into our glass, we're going to rinse our glass, again with some local absinthe from Tattersall. And absinthe is that licorice liqueur that's made from star anise, fennel, and wormwood. So we're gonna coat the glass here. This is gonna give it a nice rich flavor and really bring out that licorice. So unfortunately, we're just gonna dump it here, but we got what we needed. Our glass is now rinsed with our absinthe. Now go ahead and grab my strainer. Another awesome feature of the Tobin Ellis line is a self-rinsing tool caddy. All my tools and utensils are where they need to be, clean and ready to go for the next cocktail. I'm not sitting here fumbling around looking for my utensils. Everything is exactly where I need it to be. So we're gonna go ahead, strain this cocktail into our nice fluted coupe glass here. Again, put our strainer back into that self-rinsing caddy. And then we're gonna go ahead and dump our spent ice that we just used to shake into our dump sink here. This is a piece of equipment that's often missed, but definitely necessary if you're shaking or mixing ingredients, because you're gonna have to dump that ice every single time after a cocktail is made. And you'll notice that I use my right hand to dump. Again, strong hand. I'm gonna use to dump this mixing tin, and it makes sense to put that dump sink on the right-hand side for the ease of the bartender. Go ahead, get that taken care of here, and we're going to garnish it with a dehydrated lemon that we actually made in our ovens here at our facility. So, now you have a couple of tips and tricks from a bartender, straight from her mouth, and now I'm just gonna enjoy my wonderful Corp Survivor #2. Cheers.